Well, welcome back to the Corvette Z06 rebuild project. Build? I don't know. In case you're new here, this is my Corvette Z06 that I bought off of auction about 2 months ago wrecked. A month of that time has been spent on a singular project. A singular project that could have been avoided, but that's all that this video is going to be about. And that project is on these rockers. The rocker is this panel right here. It's kind of like the door sill. It is made out of a material called SMC, which is almost like fiberglass, and it was cracked in multiple places on both sides. I thought it would be easier to fix them than to replace them, and throughout this video, you're going to find out that I was severely mistaken. All started in my previous video on the Corvette. In case you didn't watch it, spoilers of course, but I covered what SMC was, I covered how to fix it, and I even started fixing it. Once it was fixed, I kind of realized that I made a mistake and it doesn't look good at all. Apparently making it structurally sound and making it look good are two different battles that I was not prepared for. So I wrapped up shop and I went and talked to a professional. And he said,
There's nothing easy about it.
And that left us here with two rockers that need severe body work with no experience and maybe a little bit too much optimism. Well, I made a mistake, guys. I've never done Bondo before. I've never mixed Bondo, but I didn't put enough hardener, and now I'm able to take it off with my finger after 3 days of drying. Genuinely, I don't even know how I managed that, but I had to scrape it all off. All right, this disc is ruined anyways. Okay, I think I got all of the bad Bondo off. You can actually see all the scraps of Bondo down here, or most of it. Actually, now that I think about it, I have the entire underside to do. Once I removed all of the Bondo, I kind of realized that I missed some spots with the glue because, believe it or not, it's kind of hard to keep track of all of the repair areas on this car. All at the same time, I was fixing a headlight cover, the rear bumper, the driver's side rocker, the passenger side rocker, the rear tub, a fender bracket, a headlight cover bracket, a mirror, the other mirror, and honestly there might be more stuff that I fixed, but honestly I forgot by now. There's just been too much. So we had to pause on the Bondo and get back to gluing. So let's prep this side, mix some Bondo, and get the rockers done, hopefully today. Hopefully. I said that like a week ago. Well, this is gonna be fun. I just did it on that side and that took like half a day. Latch, gone. Quarter panel, G-O-N-E, gone. Now all that leaves is the paint, so let's prep it. My neighbor just did a burnout outside just to prove that his car is better than mine. That's crazy that your foot slipped and somehow hit the gas and brake at the same time. The paint is sort of prepped now, but I just remembered that I have to fill all these holes with more glue, which was pretty awesome because I ran out of the original glue, so I started using a different style of glue. And honestly, it was pretty cool. It was green, it looked pretty cool, and how many more times can I say cool before you notice? Anyways, that glue sucked. This stuff is a lot more liquidy than the other glue. The second round of glue, or 15th round of glue, is basically dry, and I find it really weird why it's like almost bubbling up in some areas, and it looks like it has metallic in it or something. I don't really know what's happening. Like, see, there's a bubble right there. Off camera, I fixed the cracking on the door that we bought that had some cracks, but once again, you can see that bubbling happening. In just saying, I had to grind all the way through the door to fix the backside because it was cracked so bad. And the reason that's important is when I bought the door, the guy said that it's just surface cracking, paint cracking. I knew he was lying, but now that the glue's laid on the doors and the rockers and stuff, we can sand them down, hopefully for the last time, do the last skim coat of Bondo, and we should be done. Well, I have bad news. I just wasted the last 3 days because of the glue. I'm so disappointed. Originally, I bought 2 tubes of glue and they were 2 different types of glue. One was just normal panel bond adhesive and the other one was fiberglass and SMC adhesive. I used the normal stuff first, but then I ran out and I needed a little bit more, so I used the second tube of the specialty stuff that was green. That glue is either defective or something because it never fully cured. It's still soft to the touch after 2 days of drying and it bubbled up like crazy, and now I gotta grind it all off. So as you can see right here, it's like bubbling up and I can literally scrape it off with a screwdriver, and it's like almost like Jawbreaker or Jolly Rancher texture. It's hard, but it's not hard enough. And you can actually see that I'm putting little marks in it just by tapping it lightly. That scares me because if I paint over that, I think the paint is going to flake off very quickly and I'm going to have to redo all the work that I just did. That is just so disappointing. I guess there's only one way to learn, and that's through trial and error. I saw only good reviews about that glue and I did a lot of research, and unfortunately, I guess I'm just using it wrong. I don't know. I'm not sure if you were keeping track, but at the beginning of this video, we had 2 rockers that needed Bondo work. Approximately a week later, and we are exactly in the same spot because of bad Bondo and bad glue. I'm loving this. So to make sure that I'm not redoing the same work over and over again for the next 5 years, I bought the same glue that I was using before. And don't worry, I put all of that glue on off camera because honestly, at this rate, it's probably getting old. Now, learning from my last experience with Bondo, I think this time I'm going to think ahead. I'm going to mix some Bondo and just practice on a test sheet. 1, 2, and 3. This is what should react with the Bondo to make it hard. So we're going to have more, less, and somewhere in the middle. See if, we can find a good mix. This time, I'm actually going to mix this up very well because it's separated and it did not look good last time. And I kind of just got lazy. The Thanos juice. That is really odd. You see that? There's a chunk in there. Oops, I spilled some trying to show you. Dude, I'm gonna break the stick trying to mix it. So with this test, I basically wanted to see which ratio of hardener to Bondo was the best and the most structurally sound, because I really didn't want to scrape it off again. Now, it's about time that I mentioned that this is not going to be a very scientific test at all, but hopefully we can still learn something from it. So let's start with number 1. I think I'm going to do something like that. So this is number 1. Test number 2, let's try to do somewhere in the middle. So this is number 2. And one nice swipe. This is test number 3. One nice swipe. You can already see how much more blue this one is versus this one, and how this one's more blue than that one. I actually have a feeling that this one's going to be the best, but we'll see. Okay, so it's been 2 days. I know I said originally just overnight, but I lost track of time. So this is the one where we put the most hardener and the least amount of Bondo, making use of the word, but it is completely, fully strong and hard. Moving on to the middle one. This one's also fully hard and actually maybe not as hard. Yeah, it's still really hard though. Yeah. And the final one, the most amount of Bondo and the least amount of hardener. And yeah, this one is soft. Now that we fully understand how the Bondo works and what to do and what not to do, we can finally work on this rocker that has been prepped for the last 2 days for Bondo, but I was scared to put the Bondo because, but once all the Bondo's on there and we're able to sand it down and make it look good, we can prime it and move on to the next area. Check that out. It's a ton of layers of metal spacers. Interesting. Is Velcroed on? What the heck? That is so bizarre. I have never seen clips be put on with Velcro. I was expecting like little hooks that go on the inside, but no, it's Velcroed on. That is interesting. I guess I'll have to reuse this stuff most likely. I might reuse it, I might get a new one. And I just ripped it. Okay, I guess I'm getting a new one. For some reason, the air compressor doesn't want to compress air. And then it blows the circuit. One problem after another. I just can't get to the bodywork. This is ridiculous. Every time I push the reset button, it pumps very slowly and then turns back off.
That's fine. Unplug it from the extension cord and plug it in straight to the wall.
But why was it working before? That's why I don't get. My dad says that it should be because I was using an extension cord. So let's try it now that's plugged in to the wall. Honestly, just erase that from your memory. That never happened. Bondo time. Let's learn from our previous mistakes and not let it happen again. I almost feel like I know what I'm doing. This time I could actually feel the Bondo was drying as I was using it, so that's a good sign. It might actually fully cure this time. I got Bondo almost everywhere I needed it, and I try to build it up as accurately as possible. If I have to do another pass, honestly, at this rate, I'm learning, so be it. The body line is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And especially from above, that looks perfect, which is all that really matters. So quick little backstory. The second car I ever owned, I wrecked, and I had a guy with over 20 years of experience of Bondo help me fix that car, and he showed me how to do Bondo. I didn't do it, he showed me, and that was about 3 years ago, so it's been a while. And I remember him showing me that once the Bondo had set and it wasn't fully dry, that was the best time to sand because it's soft, but it's hard enough to sand. So it's easier to, kind of make your shapes. Now, as much as I love this sander, now is the time to step away from the fast tools and start working by hand. So this is the downside of sanding when it's not fully dry, but this is a small price to pay to make this a lot easier. Okay, there's a couple little low spots, but other than that, check this out. This is starting to look like a finished product. Now this is another very important tool when it comes to doing bodywork, is getting a straight edge and looking at if there's any divots, any high spots. And you can see small little divot there. Just the slightest divot, but a divot nonetheless. So we gotta fill that spot, get the straight edge here. Another little divot you can see. If I put the straight edge here, you can see there's a little divot in there. Hold on, there's a little divot here. It's not much, but it is a divot. I don't know if it's supposed to. Let's actually check the other side before I speak too soon. So there's supposed to be a slight divot here, right where this thing is, because the body kind of goes out like that. It flares out at the end. So no worries about that. Oh, and one more situation we have with the divots is this supposed to be straight edge up here is not very straight at all. Other than that, I would say the rest of it is complete. This looks good. This looks good. This looks good, just not the underside. And this, honestly, you can't even tell that this was body worked, especially once it's painted. All in all, I am actually over the moon with how good this is coming out. I'm really glad that I talked to Britt because I wouldn't be using the tools that he recommended because I didn't have them. And these tools are making the job way easier. So I know I invested about $400 total into bodyworking supplies, but I think that $400 saved me probably an extra week of time. So I think it was worth it. All right, I wanna see what you think about, ignore this side, the side isn't done, but I wanna see what you think about my, anyways, I wanna see what you think about my Bondo job over here.
The way I check the body work is close my eyes, put my hand, and just follow the curve.
Like the biggest damage was here, as you know. Down there, it was really bad. And then up here, it was cracked in two places. It was cracked here, and it was cracked here, and there's a big crack on the bottom.
Not anymore. Now it looks like a solid piece, feels like a solid piece. Good job.
Well, I think it's safe to say that the rockers are in good enough shape now to go ahead and put some high build primer and start painting. Of course, that's going to be in the next video where I'm going to paint the whole car, and I've only really painted a couple parts in my entire life, so it's gonna be a train wreck for sure. But as you guys can see, it's actually turning out pretty good, so I'm hoping that once this is painted, no one will ever know that it was fixed. Unless you watch these videos, of course. I think that's gonna be all. So if you like the video, make sure to like. If you want to see more videos on this Corvette, and hopefully the next video where I repaint every single panel, without exception, every single panel is going to get painted, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.